A black ring captain stands before you. She looks remarkably ordinary, you think, as far as black ring go. But
Tell me who you are, or I will kill you. And do not doubt me, for I tell the truth.
her expression does not change. She cannot read your mind, but you can read her face, and you see she grows impatient.
Tell me who you are, or I will kill you. They may live, for now, that they may kill the divine pigs and kill the God-woken, kill them all, and then perhaps they die and rise again. You serve the God King now, so...
Every weapon in my stock has spilled. What'll it be, Thrall? A bow? A few feet of sharp steel? Because the God King is our true Lord and Savior. He's going to right the wrongs of the Seven. Not that I'd expect some bloody thrall to understand.
The wrongs of the Seven shall be put right, thanks to the God King. Obey, honor, loved ones
An undead reaver lifts a clay goblet of wine and drinks deep. Only the wine trickles out through a hole in his side a moment later. He glances at you with a shrug.
Force of habit. Life will taste good again once the God King's victory is sealed. I don't need confidence. I have faith. The God King restores the injured, resurrects the fallen. I lay dead and forgotten.
The reaver utters a dry cluck of disapproval from the desiccated remains of his throat.
Your mistress should have enlightened you, thrall. The God King is the true king. The so-called seven gods betrayed him and cast him down. Now it's...
The God King demands...
He looks you in the eye. Into your mouth. Your tongue turns dry, then rough, almost scaly, and you feel your source, unsettled, as if attracted to the man's black eyes. As the black smoke snake takes over your tongue, you feel yourself slipping away. You see a vision, an army of the undead, risen to turn the world to a lifeless waste. At its head, a God King. The smoke snake returns to its master. Your mouth returns to normal, and with a sibilant hiss, the alchemist begins to laugh.
Enemies shall be cast down. The wrongs of the seven shall be put right, thanks to the God King.
The dreamer's eyes have red prince, the prey that my master seeks, God-woken. The cold presence ebbs away. You take a deep breath. The voice offers parting words. Very well. Go, in service of the God King. The dreamer's eyes do not see you. His mind is elsewhere, locked in a dark rapture as the Magister cowers, oblivious to you.
I don't want to go in the set.
Loved ones return. The wrongs of the seven shall be put right, thanks to the God King. Obey him. Honor.
Magisters. Not what they signed up for, I bet.
Looks like those Black Ring made a lethal enemy.
You approach an undead, standing proud at the lip of a broken bridge. Understandably fearless of the fatal drop, she gazes into the lava sputtering below. Turning to you, she motions to the Black Ring corpses at her feet.
Good riddance to bad rubbish, eh? Only thing I like less than Black Ring are trolls. God-woken, are you? I thought so. I see it on you like an aura. I see such things, for I am the Watcher. And I seek such things, for I am a seeker. The Meister.
She bats one skeletal hand in a truly derisive fashion. Her crackling laugh sounds like dry leaves whirling in the wind on an autumn night.
The Meister's ragtag band are but a pale imitation of the tradition they sought to revive. I am one of the original Seekers. We swore to be Knights of the Council, guardians of Godwoken, and defenders of divinity. Together, we failed. But still, I try. Alone. Unless... the Knight of Duna has been cursed. Void runs through his veins where source once flowed. I am sworn to protect the Council and all within it. But that same oath renders me unable to lift a blade against him. Release the Knight's good spirit from his corrupted shell, Godwoken. Do this, and I will gift you with the last standard of the original Seekers. If you seek ascension, it could help you greatly in the trials along the way. My thanks, and the thanks of Duna's Knights too. In life, I knew him well. He would hate to be like this. Believe me, you would be releasing him from torment. Please do...
The bunny gives you a dazed look, like she's not all there.
Yeah, wow, what a shock, yeah. Huh? What? Oh, hi. So, yeah, hey, here's the thing. Don't get too close to the sticky out thing with the shape thing near the door. Thing's dangerous. What a shock. Bye.
won't budge. Interesting. It may still be in working order.
Shriekers. The Black Ring brutes spoke the truth.
We'll need a purging wand to defeat them.
You do not look Black Ring. Explain yourself.
The elf's deep golden eyes go wide. A strange smile dances across his mouth, and he starts to roar with laughter.
The gods chose you as their champion? Some pet elf with a spoiled face. Run home, little Godwoken. You find only death here. We have all swatted flies. That is not what lies ahead of you.
Be at ease, sister. We're safe now.
Almighty Duna, hear my prayer. Save your children.
Useless.
You are not worthy of this temple. Leave. Run back to your hearth. Cower there while death searches for you.
The laughter dies from the elf's eyes, replaced with weary seriousness.
Almighty Duna, hear my prayer. Save your children.
Useless.
Good. It is proper that the God-woken should not be so easily pushed away. Too many are not ready for the trials ahead. You may proceed. You find no threat here. Not from me, at least.
Hear my prayer. Save your children.
The island is not overrun. This temple stands strong. The other gods were clearly not as powerful as Tersendelius. In his fortress, the Black Ring do not succeed. They do not kill the God-woken, but they do not fail. Now, knights and God-woken both cower behind monsters, tied to sticks. Yes, he resides here for a time. He and his troop commandeered the top level of my temple. He is not the God-woken I expect. Few ferocious warriors bring an army. Or shrieking monsters tied to posts. I protect the God-woken of this temple from the Black Ring, from the Magisters, from all threats of this world. But not from other God-woken. What one God-woken does to another is divine business. It must not be interfered with.
The elf raises a bushy eyebrow.
One demands from one's lessers. I am your equal, God-woken. Once, I stand where you stand. My gods chosen, fighting to be the divine. The trials do not kill me, but neither do I triumph. Another becomes divine, and I remain here to serve Tersendelius and protect his chosen. It is not the place of a knight to reveal such things. We walked your path once. You must discover it yourself, as we did. Turn to the gods. Their guidance alone will lead you. May Tersendelius ever watch over you.
Have you been to the temple of Zolstissa? Is the King's Knight safe? Is Zolstissa's chosen champion safe? I was not ready to die. I cannot serve the Lord Zolstissa if I am dead. I pray the temple has not crumbled, and Zolstissa's champion is not dead. Ha! You?
He stands head bowed as the blessing courses through him. He raises his hands before him, marveling at their glow. He looks at you at last, his mouth agape. He sinks to one knee.
Who will you destroy to save the kin?
He stares at you in awe. Tears come to the corner of his eyes. He begins to rock back and forth, spellbound in religious ecstasy. He begins to pray.
There shall be a new divine, and he shall be a red-skinned prince. There shall be a new divine, and he shall be a red-skinned prince. I thank you for your blessing.
The elven priest prays serenely. Sensing your presence, he opens his eyes. A long look passes between you as he takes in your face and the color of your skin.
So, the Red Prince is here. Interesting, if revolting. Not every day one meets his annihilator. The very man who, in the darkest depths of his mind, formulated the plan to unleash death fog within the heart of the elven homeland. Memory fails, does it, Prince? But elven memory never fails. We know from the flesh of your generals that it was you who whispered the poison in their ears. We know from their flesh that the intention was to eradicate both us and the Ring. You pretend to be a prince of the House of War, whereas you're nothing but a slave of the House of Shadows. Away from me, demon! It is a terrible miracle that a heart as cold as yours managed.
Ho there, hopeful. I belong to Tyrsendilius. To whom are you sworn?
Bid ease, sister. We're safe now.
I pray to the altars of all 7 gods, all across the island, and pledged my allegiance. You must do the same, and hope they hear you. But most of all, you must be ruthless, where I was not. That I do not know. I prayed at each altar, heard nothing but Tyrsendilius' voice in the whispers of the trees. Tyrsendilius tells me all is well. I prayed to the altars of all 7 gods, all across the island, and pledged my allegiance. You must do the same, and hope they hear you. But you must be ruthless, where I was not.
This is incredible. What a structure.
Make trade.
The creature runs a black tongue across its maw while staring at you hungrily. For a brief moment, you see row upon row of jagged teeth stretching right back to its gullet.
A distant, hungry place. Your war draws...
A customer.
His lascivious eyes flick over you.
Vulnerable flesh.
The leaves of the altar rustle, a gentle murmur on the breeze. You feel calm, despite the low growls of the tiger standing beside you. You lean in, a sweet smell wafting around you, the smell of fresh wood, of blooming flowers, of a gentle summer's night. The scent fills your mind and your vision starts to swim. You blink and find yourself standing in a dark glade. On the wind, you hear a whisper, "God woken." You turn towards the voice and see the broken body of a fawn. A raven is perched upon its head, pecking at the gory hollow that once held its eye. You're about to turn away when the body twitches. "God woken," it whispers. The raven turns its gore-streaked beak towards you. Its eyes are a deep bloody red. "God woken," it croaks as it takes to the air, circling the glade. "God woken." The fawn's breathing is shallow and ragged. I need to heal, it murmurs. Please, I need your life's energy, please. I need your blood. As your blood touches the deer's lips, its head lurches forward, clamping its mouth over the wound. You can feel half of your vitality slowly drain away. You pull your arm back, breaking the connection, and see that the deer has grown too long in sizes. It gets to its feet, kicks something towards you, and stalks away. You pick up its gift, a round white stone, and are getting ready to leave when you feel a cold, heavy thump on your shoulder. You look up into the fierce red eyes of the raven. I see you, Godwoken, it croaks. I see you. The blood-flecked beak lunges at your eye, and you feel it. You feel it tear through the lid, through the jelly, and crack against bone. You stumble back, grasping at your face. Your eyes are fine, but the altar is changed, with the crescent moon hacked into the wood. As you leave, you can't shake the dull, thudding ache in your eye. Eyes closed, the tiger seems to be praying.
I am the last of my hide, my stripe, my streak. All of us but I fell dead in the mist when the two legs had their war. I pray to thee to bring us back, to save us from our end.
She cocks her head to listen to a voice you cannot hear.
If the covenant be in good faith, O black-winged god, and all the forest tigers shall return, then I shall accept your...
She opens her eyes and turns to you.
Or what? Shall you kill me with your fog of death like you did my cousins? This is our only chance to live.
She closes her eyes, a low growl. She stares directly at you and bares her teeth.
With the heel lizard.
Stranger, you must help us. I beg of you.
ghostly tiger bares her teeth at you, a triumphant glint in her eye.
When the God King brings the forest tigers back, and we rise to rule, for you there shall be no...
The altar sits before you.
Enough! Your words mean nothing to me, Alexander.
Protect the bishop no matter the cost.
I am at the ready.
Lower your weapons. Gareth, listen to me. Enough! Your words mean nothing to me, Alexander.
Protect the bishop no matter the cost.
I am at the ready.
Magisters, lower your weapons. Gareth, listen to me. Enough. Your words mean nothing to me, Alexander.
I will have your head, Seeker.
Be at ease, Magister Rowe. Weapons down. Gareth, I have done you a grave injustice. I was deceived, and I was too weak, too naive to see it.
Alexander holds his hands outwards towards Gareth, his blade resting flat across his palms, a gesture of goodwill and peace.
Godwoken, have you come to witness the death of the noble coward? How fortunate. You can tell the tale of Lucien's other wayward son. Amusing you should defend this slug's life on the basis of his ignorance. Have you seen the terror this man has wrought? Have you forgotten of the purgatory he threw? Have you forgotten what he has taken from me? My friends, my parents, my life, a life dedicated to service at his father's side. I've forgotten nothing. Alexander, you are the sinner, yet the gods have allowed us to suffer for it. I would kill you 100 times over if given the chance. This is your end, Alexander. I strike in the name of your father.
it? Hurts, doesn't it?
I must admit, Godwoken, at one time I envied you. I wondered what it would be to feel awake for the first time. Reborn. I no longer have to wonder. I see for the first time. I see you. I see myself. And I see my future. So clear. So very my own. Not Luke.
The spirit of Alexander looks bitterly dejected. He turns to you.
My journey has ended, but the world still needs a divine, even if it's my murderer. Tell me, have you learned how to enter the council yet? Not so hasty. I have to know your intentions before I help you. What do you mean to do with the power of divinity if you succeed? You will do, Godwoken. Rallic, Vrogir, and Zolstissa favored the sun, while Duna, Tyrsendilius, Xantedsa, and Amadia favored the moon. Align their idols thusly at the entrance to the council. Then there's the lever. It requires a great power source. I had one. Perhaps it's still with my remains. Otherwise, you must scour the island. Farewell, Godwoken. I hope you don't disappoint.
Almighty Duna, hear my prayer. Save your children.
The priestess is oblivious to you. Instead, she's locked in frantic, desperate prayer.
Almighty Duna, save your children. Deliver us from the void. Almighty Duna, save your children.
The loyal shall be rewarded. All that you desire shall be yours if you follow the God King. Life shall be restored. Death will become peace.
You suddenly hear something in the distance, a strange but familiar tune. Sabine freezes. You recognize it as her Scar song. The master...
A moment, years in the making. Soon, I will have my vengeance.
She gives you a quick kiss on the cheek.
Sing the song when I signal you, and wish me good luck.
One step, then another, ever closer. You can tell from her bearing, Sabine has never been so ready to kill, so on the brink of impending action. She's like a cat, all concentrated muscle, that split second before it pounces. Another step, ever closer. The moment has finally come. She's found the master. The eyes of predators meet.
Sabine?
He snaps his fingers, and she involuntarily snaps to attention.
Here you go, breaking my heart.
That's the plan, mastermind.
He sighs, sadly.
I don't begrudge you your freedom, Sabine. Your escape relieved me of having to witness your death by your own hand. The inevitable last command. I would have watched you, like I have all this time, glad to see you live, sometimes even laugh. I'm very fond of you, you know.
The feeling's not quite mutual.
Not yet.
Another snap. Different fingers, different sound. She looks to the ground. She's bowing before him.
Utter control. The tool of a tyrant, you think? But you're mistaken. Let me indulge you with an explanation. Everything I do for a much greater good. The supreme example of this is you, Sabine. She's the prime scion. It had to be her. The other scions knew and welcomed her. They sought out their own killer. It was all so very elegant. What I did had to be done, Sabine, and I had to be the orchestrator. For I am the House of Shadows. I am the Fate Weaver. I am the hand that guides a blind world. Even...
This is all nonsense. I don't even know what a prime scion means.
And so you judge me without even knowing who you are. The scions of your people are its secret soldiers, you the most powerful of them all. They want you to become their leader, their heart. You are to be the new mother tree whose roots will conquer all, but you may never become this abomination. You should know that I forced you to shed the blood of scions because rather than a killer, it transformed you into a savior of untold millions. Here's the final truth, Sabine. The true evil here is not me. It's you. The Mother Tree and her scions do not seek to carve out their own part of peace in this world. They seek to carve out the whole wide world for themselves. They want their roots to conquer every last inch of Rivellon. World domination. The prevalence of one race over all others. That is what they desire. That is what I counteract.
He died the day he met me.
Death, death, death. Did I create a monster after all? I don't begrudge you your freedom, Sabine, but you came looking for me driven by no more than ordinary bloodlust. All you see is red. You've lost sight of all reason. You know how the scar works. You know I have but to sing a single tune. You've no hope whatsoever of defeating your master.
He sings. The Scar song swells, 1,000 tiny needles in Sabile's soul, chipping away at her will. She looks at you with hope and defiance, gives the signal. You must sing the song. Your voice harmonizes with the master's. Stunned, he hesitates, and yours becomes the dominant melody. Sabine is free from his influence.
Dear me, you're a miracle worker. I'll take it from here.
The patient cat finally pounces. She strikes, precisely, exactly. Her needle pierces his neck, spears his vocal cords, filling his throat with blood.
Checkmated and muted, he staggers back, all a feared fury. This is it. It's time to kill the master.
Reveal yourself. Show yourself!
Prepare yourself! Glory is mine! The master's dead. Finally, I am free.
Reveal yourself.
There's no time to waste. My, what a query to ask so out of the blue. Still, why not? I suppose some stories were always meant to be told. So, here goes. No, hang on.
She retrieves a small flask from her backpack, uncorks it, and takes a big swig. Tears stream from her eyes as she offers you the flask.
They're tears of joy, I assure you. Here, have some joy.
You drink. It burns. Soon the tears run down your cheeks as well.
Not bad, is it? So good it has us crying like babies. Now then, the epic of The Master and the Scar. Sounds like a melodramatic opera. There was, of course, some singing involved. It began when I woke in the dark room. He removed my blindfold, and still I did not see. He himself was darker than any shadow, but I could hear him give orders to another. The Master bid the dream a dream, and so he did. He sat there. I could feel his hands upon my cheeks. He trembled, as if in pain. I didn't know what was going on until, quite suddenly, his right hand became a flame. I screamed as he traced the design of the scar into my searing flesh, but I could not move, not an inch. And all the while the Master looked on in darkest silence. Oh, like all good things in life, one has to experience these things firsthand. So, once the scarring was over, and the pain began to fade, the training began. With words, whistles, snaps of the fingers even, the Master could make me obey his every command. Young, strong, smart. You know I don't exactly lack in qualities. It didn't take him long to train me in the arts of stealth, subterfuge, and assassination. It shakes me little now, all too little. But that first time, that first real kill, it was such stuff as nightmares are made on. I had now lived in the dark for what might as well have been years. I was in a wood, but the trees there were sick. Grey, leafless hydras sticking out of ashen earth. There were no stars that night. She sat, shivering beside a fire. I was nervous. I had to chase her. My hand hated itself, tried to resist, but there is no resisting the Master's song. My stabs weren't as mercifully exact as they should have been. I had to bring down the needle again and again as her screams flooded the forest with terror. When it was done, I crawled back to the Master, broken, crept back into the box, and through its cold black lid, he told me I had done well. You understand me completely. With the needle, I killed him, and with the needle, I'll strike his name from my skin. The bastard is a master no longer. Oh, honey, you should be. It was a trust not lightly given, I assure you. The mere recollection of this tune, it haunts me. Sometimes, in dreams, I hear it whistled, and I fear it's real. I fear I'll never wake up again because it holds me enthralled in the night. And when I think of what it made me do, it's enough to make me want to flay whoever sings it.
She pats your shoulder awkwardly.
But darling, No need to tense up so. I'd never do that to you. Well, not unless you'd attempt to sing the song before we meet the Master. But you're far too smart for any such shenanigans, aren't you? Of course you are. Now then, on a more serious note, how about a kiss? Come here.
A kiss. A sweet, stolen moment.
See? I told you we should do this again sometime. It feels magnificent, if somewhat unreal. But first things first.
You look on as Sabine bares her arm and drags her needle across the word master, like a knife. Drowned with a few ripples of sauce, the wound closes, leaving behind but new scar tissue that effaces all trace of the hated word that was.
Thank you. You're such a sweetheart.
She laughs. Her cat eyes dance with mirth.
Now, it's over.
She takes your hand in hers, meets your eyes in earnest.
I just can't thank you enough. I could never have defeated the Master without you. I owe you everything. But I do, and I won't forget. I am free now.
She places a hand over the fresh scar on her arm.
I've known the opposite too long to want to spend another day hollow with hate, another night hollow with loneliness. I know I needn't be, if you show me a little love.
You kiss her on the cheek, and she laughs, full of life.
Ah, yes. I am the Prime Scion. A revelation that came quite out of the blue, which is somewhat ironic, considering I'm supposed to be my people's foremost memory keeper. Quite slipped my mind, though. A slave scar will do that to a girl. Yes, a great many things. Days long gone.
She looks down, an uncharacteristic cast of melancholy passing over her face.
Gods, I was so young. Imagine it. To sit enthroned under a vast forest canopy. To look down upon a crowd of thousands, their bodies aglow with countless rays of golden light falling through the leaves. You hear their voices as one. One mind, one thought, and it's your name they incant, as if the word itself were magic. Sabine. They said it like I was the cornerstone of their existence. Isn't that silly? I didn't even know myself. Good question. It's a very lonely thing, indeed, to be the object of a people's worship. What is revered is feared at the same time.
She absent-mindedly fingers her needle, hesitates.
I used to love poetry. I used to love wandering the forests for days on end. I'd swim in the rivers and forget to dress after. It was fine. I was alone. I'd bask in the sun, sleep nestled among bear cubs. Nothing out there would harm me. But always, they would find me, the Scions. Always the Mother Tree would call me back, for one day I'd be free no longer. One day my legs would be roots. To wander would be but one lone memory among millions. Clearly not. Though I must admit that even to sit on that throne amid that eerie crowd, destined to become leaf and bark, was not so dreadful a prospect as what came next. When I decided to run away from the Mother Tree with only the moon for my guide, it was a terrible journey. Soft-leafed branches became vicious like whips. Moss-bedecked rocks became sharp like the stone axes of old. I grew weary. I was bleeding, in pain, and how I gasped when for the first time an animal eyed me with malice and growled. That is when I heard them. The whispers and the taunts, the low howls of men. The snare cut So deep. The blindfold, it made me panic. The dark.
Somewhat to your surprise, Sabine doesn't recoil. But
Thank you. That very first moment of darkness. I've never been so scared ever since. Then there was the stench of those men. The burn of the ropes. The jeers and the kicks. Until the dark went silent. Even those barbarians didn't dare speak in the presence of the Master. But I'll not speak of him and his methods. Not now, anyway. If ever. The very best.
She cocks her head ever so slightly and eyes you as innocently as a kitten.
Why? Don't tell me you disagree. Thank you. I quite agree, and I'm sure I'll have mercy on you when I'm a goddess. You, but a mortal at my feet. In all seriousness, though, the prospect both tickles and terrifies me. I mean, divinity. Will it be a blessing or a burden? Would we be truly omnipotent, or merely the servants of an unruly universe, as desperate for control as we are now? And then there's the question that makes me shiver most of all. Would we still be ourselves? Would I remain Sabine, or would my mortal soul die upon gaining divine immortality? But I do, for I've no intention of losing myself once more.
She sighs and closes her eyes, then smiles her easy smile.
Such a silly game we play, to be a god. It's quite wasted on mortals, if you ask me. We are all of us too blemished to become immaculate.